Because I'm right-handed, I'm a bit slower with my dabbing with this hand. So I'm like, in comparison to this. Welcome or welcome back to my YouTube channel, which is all about educational beauty. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to apply concealer with your fingers for a flawless finish. You guys have asked for it, and here it is. Now, if you do like this video, please do give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell button so that you never miss any of my future videos. And I'm over on Instagram, so why don't you head on over there and say hi and watch my reels, watch some unboxing, because I think you're gonna love it there too. Now let's head straight into the video. So this morning I was literally going through my comments on YouTube and reading everything you guys have been writing recently. The last like 3-4 weeks, I literally just cleared all my comments this morning from like a month ago because I was traveling and then my sister came and then had a 1 week break and then my other sister came. So it's been really manic. And by the way, if you want to see all of what was going on, you can actually go to my vlog channel and literally every day is up there. I thought to myself, I was reading the comments and a few of you seem to have written the same thing, which was you would love to know how to apply concealer with your fingers, because I did a video recently which is how to apply foundation with your fingers, and I had quite a few of you say I would love to know how to actually apply concealer as well with your fingers. So that is what I'm going to show you today. This is a very kind of last minute video. As you guys know, I've mentioned in a previous video, my brows have just been microbladed, so I'll be doing everything other than touching my brows because you need to wait 10 days before you do anything to them. Not allowed to touch them, not allowed to wet them. Don't even ask how I've been doing it. It's been a nightmare, but I have managed to be as good as I possibly can with them. And yeah, but another 4 days to go and then I can start, you know, just being normal. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to start with my skincare and I'm going to be putting on my niacinamide. This is my Sturm Better B Niacinamide Serum. I use this every morning and I'm just going to smooth this over. This is great for pores, by the way. So like if you want to just like make your pores look smaller, good for hydration. It's good for like if you break out. Niacinamide is just like, honestly, such an amazing ingredient. So I'm going to let that kind of like sink in. In the meantime, I'm going to put my eye cream on, which is my Drunk Elephant Sea Tango. Let's just smooth this all over. I'm going to go in with my Wind Marrakesh Rich. Just kind of smooth this over all over. Now, if you're going to be applying your concealer with your fingers, there are like a couple of things that you need to know. One is you want to make sure your base is nice and kind of moisturized. It's not too dry because obviously it's going to start to look really kind of just dry. So you want to make sure it's nice and kind of hydrated. You've got a decent amount of moisturizer on, not too much where it's going to start, you know, just being too gunky on your skin, but enough that you have a kind of nice moist base ready for your concealer application. Now I was a little bit I was just a bit confused as to which method to show you, because not method, but method to show you, because I was a bit unsure, because obviously you guys know that I use underpainting. So I underpaint, which means you put your concealer on first and then you put your foundation on top. Now I was thinking, okay, do I do it this way? Because obviously I don't usually use my fingers, but I also know like sometimes I have used my fingers, but mainly with foundation. But I'm showing you this because I know you guys want to know how to do it. But also, if you put your concealer on first with your fingers, it's going to be very difficult for you to underpaint then putting your foundation on with your fingers too after. It's just not going to sit right because you're going to move around all the concealer underneath, because with your fingers, you know, it's so small in comparison to like the surface area of a sponge, so it's going to take forever if you were to dab it. So I thought I'm going to show you the best method, the best kind of like order of applying like the finish that you want to get, like a nice flawless finish, but the best order for this. So I'm not just showing you how to apply your concealer with fingers. I'm going to be showing you how you can obviously apply your foundation with fingers and how you can finish it off and get a really nice flawless base. So this is the correct order. In case any of you kind of message saying, oh, but what if I wanted to do the underpainting technique? I am going to be showing you only this technique because this is the best way you're going to get a flawless finish, by using your fingers for the concealer and foundation. Any other way, I feel like, is just not going to give you that type of finish. So let's get started. I'm just going to finish off with my primer. This is also my SPF. This is my Charlotte Tilbury Invisible UV Flawless Poreless Primer, which is SPF 50. I absolutely love this. Mainly because it's just primer and SPF in one. And it's SPF 50, so I love that. Now I'm going to be putting my concealer on my eyelids first. And I want a kind of like natural finish today. So I am going to be using my concealer, which is very close to my skin color. That's my Too Faced Born This Way in warm beige. So I've just put a little bit with the applicator there. And now I am just going to kind of like blend this in. So I'm basically tapping it in. But I'm like kind of like moving it around on the inner corner there. Now, I can't go too close to my brow because obviously, you know, I'm not meant to put makeup near it. So I'm going to leave a bit of a gap there and just kind of like blend it. That's literally it. See how like that was like super quick? That's given us like that nice flawless, like nice even finish on my eyelid. Let's do this side. Obviously, if you didn't have the brow issue, you could literally just like very easily and quickly do this. But I'm just trying to be careful because I've got my brow issue going on. I'm getting my Laura Mercier Powder Puff and my powder, which is my Makeup Forever Ultra HD powder in 2.1, which is light banana. And I'm just gonna press this in. And this is gonna set to my like lid area. Let's just dust this away now with my brush, my Real Technique setting brush. There you go. So the eyelids are all done now. I feel like as I'm doing this video, I'm also waking up, by the way, guys. So it's pretty early in the morning to be filming, to be honest. But I am waking up as I'm doing this. I've had my coffee. I kind of feel like I need another one. I am now going to put my foundation on because I can hear myself slowly, like at the beginning, I'm like, and then now I'm just like, okay, I'm waking up. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is put my foundation on. Like I said, if I were to put my concealer on first with my fingers and then go over with my foundation with my fingers, it's just going to move it all around. It's just not going to be flawless. But if you were to put your concealer on with your fingers and then go over with a foundation using your sponge, yes, you could do that. But I'm talking just about using your fingers today. So we're going to be using my fingers to apply my concealer. I don't want to go for a kind of heavy foundation look, so I'm going to be using my Pat McGrath foundation. This is a Skin Fetish foundation, and my shade is, I think I'm probably a little bit darker than this, but I think I can get away with this. It's light medium 14. So I am just going to basically put this, just one pump, there you go, on my fingers. And we're going to smooth this out. Oh my God, my stomach is making so many noises. It's like, feed me. All right, let's try and get around my brows without affecting them. Now I'm going to take this under the eyes as well. I'm really going to make sure I'm covering all my skin. There you go. See how that's just gone all over? Now we're going to go in with our concealer, but before we do, I feel like I've got a little bit of kind of like darkness on the under eye circles, so I'm going to use my orange color corrector. This is my Charlotte Tilbury No. 3 Tan, and I'm just going to get a little bit on the tip of my finger, and I am just going to pat this on my under eye. There. You're supposed to put it on and not blend it fully so then you can't see anything, because otherwise it's not actually doing anything. But you know, you should be able to see like an orange kind of like finish there. Now let's go in with the concealer, and I'm going to put this on how I usually do, but I'm going to be honest, guys, when you're using your fingers, you really don't need as much concealer because there's nothing to absorb the product. So you want to just kind of like, you know, use it sparingly. So I'm going to let that sit for a minute because I don't want it to be like super fluid. I just want it to like kind of set a tiny bit before I start blending it in. So we're going to let that sit for a second. In the meantime, I do need to put some kind of like lip product on. I'm just going to use my Dior lip maximizer. Okay, I think I can start now. So now I'm going to just start patting this in. Now, because this is concealer, you want to make sure you use the tip of your finger and you're kind of patting it the same kind of way that we use the sponge. So remember how you've heard me say a million times, like pat very close together, like you're dabbing it. You're kind of like the movements are very close together. It's very similar. It's probably a little bit difficult if you have nails like me, like long nails, but it'll be much easier if you don't. So, because you then like get right up into the corners. So this is basically how we're applying it. We're using our finger to pat in, and we're just taking the excess which is on our finger kind of into the rest of the face because we really don't want it to look like there's any kind of like, you know, difference. You've got to remember to pat very closely together. You saw how I did that, right? See how now we've got that really nice coverage there? It's nice and flawless. Now we're going to do the same on the other eye. It's much more difficult doing it with the same hand. So I prefer to kind of like just use this hand. And because I'm right-handed, I'm a bit slower with my dabbing with this hand. So I'm like, in comparison to this. Okay, so we're going to get right up into that area there. See how we've now got that really nice flawless finish all over? It really is very simple. It's not like, you know, using it in a different way. The technique is very similar to like using, well, how I would use a sponge, but it's just using your finger. So you've got to have that same technique down. So if you are obviously already really good with using your sponge in the technique that I've shown you, which is really kind of like patting very close together, you're dabbing very close, you're never kind of moving from different places, you're always going in the same direction, you're doing the exact same thing but with your finger. And you'll see that you don't actually get those finger marks if you keep that technique at hand, like if you do it like very close together. So now that we've done that, we can now kind of like set the under eye. So I'm going to use my powder. I'm going to make sure I have no kind of like foundation stuck in my creases. There you go. I just take over whatever's left over because I don't want a really heavy finish. So let's dust this off. And I'm just going to take this brush and just add it everywhere else, but lightly because I don't want like a heavy finish. Okay, so we've set that. Now I'm just going to do a couple of finishing touches. So I'm just using my bronzer, which is my Sunstalker this is actually Shady Biz, and my Hourglass Veil brush. I'm just going to sculpt my face a tiny bit, not a lot. Just because I want you to see kind of like what it looks like finished. Same bronzer, but my Fenty 200 brush. Just gonna do that kind of like quick nose contour here. So it's just like a little kind of diamond shape. Let's apply a little bit of blush. I'm gonna use my Hourglass Vanish blush in Sacred. And it's a stick, but I don't wanna paint it on. So I'm actually just gonna take this on my finger. I am just gonna dab it on. Yeah. Perfect. I've more or less done everything with my finger this morning, so you guys can see. A little bit of glow so that we can get that really nice flawless finish. This is my Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Finish in number 5. I've got a little bit on the back of my hand. Oh, what's the matter? What's the matter? That's you. Oh my God, there's a screensaver. Oh. Okay, no more. It's okay, Nico. There's a screensaver on my laptop over there because it's recording my sound and the screensaver's gone on. All it is Nico's pictures. And he's like, who is this dog? Who is this person? It's okay. Come here, come on. Be a good boy, come here. Such a good boy. I'll pick you up in a minute, hold on. Oh my God, guys. The poor thing. I've got the back of my sponge and I'm just gonna like press this in. You can hear him like, he's like getting angry now. Little bit of a glow. Tip of the nose, that's it. Okay, a little bit of lip pencil. I just want to show you the finished look so you can see what it all looks like. I think we can go in with a little bit of lipstick. This is my Anastasia Beverly Hills in Peach. Is it Peach? No, it's called Hollywood actually. I'm gonna use my mascara. This is my Fenty Hella Thick mascara. I really like this mascara. It's really good. It very quickly thickens your lashes, as you can see already. It's pretty crazy, this mascara. It's good. I like it. Now you can actually see the finish, like, you know, when the whole face is done. I feel like sometimes it's really difficult to kind of like see what it looks like with a whole face, because who really just walks around just like that? Or maybe I do sometimes, but you know, I mean, like, I wanted you to see what it looks like finished with a bit of bronzer, with a bit of blush, with a little bit of highlight, so that you can see just how flawless the skin actually can look. And it's just from using your fingers to apply your concealer and your foundation. So I really hope that's kind of like shown you exactly what you can do and how easy it really is. Don't overcomplicate it for yourself. Like, you know, if you want to apply concealer in other areas in the face, you can still use your finger, but you're just kind of like dabbing it on. And remember how I applied it on my under eyes and then I made sure I dabbed it into the foundation? That's how you can do it on other areas using your finger too. So you just kind of go into the foundation. And honestly, the biggest thing I can tell you here, like what's really, really important, is your concealer, because you're applying it on top of your foundation, because obviously it's going to be hard to apply your foundation with fingers on top of your concealer, which is my preferred order of makeup. It is important that you make sure your concealer is a very, very close color to your foundation, because it's just going to look really patchy and wrong otherwise. If I were to use my Tarte Shape Tape concealer instead of my Too Faced concealer, my Tarte Shape Tape is a little bit lighter than my foundation, so it's going to look really patchy, really bright in that came out really weird, but it's going to look really bright in like certain areas, which is great, but it's not going to blend into my foundation well, and I just feel like it will look patchy. So I would make sure that your concealer is a very close color to your skin color, like your foundation as well. So hopefully that kind of like was easy for you guys to understand, and you're going to recreate this and you're going to do it yourself. Your skin, honestly, it looks really flawless when you do it this way too. It's just super easy, and I really hope that's kind of like either made you want to try it or kind of answered that question if you were wondering how to apply concealer with your foundation, with your fingers. I'm gonna go grab a coffee now, but wherever you guys are in the world, I'm sending you loads of love. I hope this video has really helped today, and I hope that it somehow makes you want to try it out, and maybe it will work for you. But even if it doesn't, even if it does, let me know in the comments box below, because I would love to hear from you. Now, if you like this video, please do give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell button so that you never miss any of my future videos. Until the next video, take care, and I'll see you soon.